Sorry, I feel like I'm off with you.
We are live.
Hi.
You're off.
Well, color-wise.
I don't know.
I'm always off, you guys.
That's a great opening line. All right. Well, welcome to Braveheart Conversations, where we are brutally honest
about everything going on.
No filter here. Welcome to Braveheart Conversations. I am Jillian Landis, and this is my lovely co-host, Marie Wallace.
Who?
Oh, man. My identity's changed today. That was my old last name. I've been Jillian Landis all week because I've been doing the IMA stuff. So
there you go.
I run two businesses with two different names. So I'm Jillian Aurora today. And this is Marie Wallace, my co-host.
Hi, guys.
I feel like we need a restart. Anyway, hopefully you guys get some laughs. So, yes, I'm Jillian Landis in the mediation world, and I'm Jillian Aurora here in the goddess world, the domain. All right, so today, actually, this is perfect because we're going to be talking about who we are, what our identity is after having had a year's worth of new experiences and challenges. So if you've been watching the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about celebrating your harvest, right? What you have, gleaning what you have sown over this last year. And acknowledging the victories that you've had and the challenges that you've faced and overcome, and what we've learned. So that's what we've talked about the last couple of weeks. And today I want to talk about who you are as a result of that, and how you can really acknowledge your new self, because we're constantly changing and constantly evolving. So you have a new self that you can really take a moment to acknowledge, take a moment to recognize her or him, if you are a male listener. Most of our audience is female. But take a moment to acknowledge who you are and who your goddess is, right? I like to really visualize the goddess. Visualize the goddess within yourself. What does she look like? How does she act? And what's her name? And names are really, really important. We talked a tiny bit last week about rituals. Mm-hmm. And I believe rituals are really important. Celebrating yourself is really important. And actually, not just having a moment in passing where you say, oh yeah, I accomplished this goal and that goal, but actually taking some time, dedicating some time, putting it on your calendar. At 6 p.m. today, I'm going to have a fire circle, and I am going to celebrate the things that I accomplished this year. There's a different feel to that, isn't there? Than just saying, yeah, I acknowledge what I did. Great, move on, right?
Quick pat.
Yeah, but actually take some time. Maybe, make yourself a cake. Make yourself your favorite meal. There's really some power in ritual and celebrating what you've done. And there's also some power in names and in words. So it's called spelling for a reason, because we cast spells with our words. This is why I believe prayer is powerful. Is not that it's to a deity, but that words are powerful in and of themselves. And when we speak words, there's certain things that we are recognizing within ourselves. There is reinforcement happening. There's affirmation happening. And all of that really creates a powerful synergy, powerful force within you. So I want you to take that information, that knowledge, and utilize it in your celebration of yourself and your new person. Marie, I know you are like the queen of ritual because you run ceremonies, and this is totally your wheelhouse. And so I would love for you to share a little bit more today about how do we acknowledge that goddess?
Wow, that sounds wonderful.
Even, it's not a common thing to do, but how do you have a ceremony for yourself? It's not for a marriage. It's not for a funeral. It's not these, other big things that we see as necessities,
Right.
but actually having a ceremony just for yourself, maybe by yourself, maybe not by yourself, but how do you have a ceremony to really acknowledge that new identity that you have?
That sounds awesome. I first want to address just a little piece because this is old paradigm where it's not acknowledged that you should celebrate yourself. Where if you celebrate yourself, you have a big head or you're boasting, and it's far from that. What you're doing when you have this celebration of self is acknowledging the time, effort, energy that you have put into something, and taking a moment because you know I I think I'm a recovered A type personality, meaning that I used to have things in order, like bam, 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 bam. And I didn't take time to celebrate. And then I'd go way past and then never realize like all that I had accomplished in a year, in a few years. And I think that reflection of seeing and celebrating allows you to have the courage to go further. It also allows you to feel like, gosh, oh, I have grown in so many ways, which means I can grow even more. So, back to the ritual part, to me, what's important is I love the name claiming because that allows you just to pick something just that means something to you, that symbolizes. And so, symbols and bringing in those things that bring meaning for you are super important. So maybe you like rocks and you love bringing in that one rock that's going to mean something, that so every time you see that rock you'll remember, gosh, I really grew in love and compassion this year. Or maybe the dance that you were talking about. I love dancing and moving, and it brings it to a cellular level. When I dance and I move and I'm kinesthetic with what's going on, it brings it to my cell memory, and my cell memory can go, you can do hard things. You can do easy things. You can do so much more than what you ever thought you could. So bringing in a kinesthetics piece, singing out loud in the shower, creating your own song, doing some kind of creation or artwork is also fun. Um, when you said saying words, the power of saying words, one thing I know from doing rituals too is sometimes chanting. I used to not be a fan of chanting because I didn't know the words, but it's the vibration of the words and feeling it in here, in um your whole being, because sometimes words can get a little bit in the way, and that is if I'm thinking too much in my head and not my soul. So for some of you that might be very heady in your thinking, you can have this chant or these things, just ways to go, this is my happy song. This is my happy thing. So I went a little crazy because I get excited about ritual.
I love that you brought music, the musical element, into the conversation because it is really important, and that can also be such a part of my identity, right? And I think we have multiple identities. We're not, just pigeonholed into one person, but I can have a playful side, and I can have a serious side, and I can have sensual side, and I can have a totally, robotics. It's just, we are complicated, complex human beings, and we get to celebrate that as well. And there are moments, I'm sure you can all relate, where you really want, some really hard music and you're like intense and warrior. And then there's times where you want something a little more light and playful and soft. And so that musical element can really complement however you are celebrating yourself. And I love drumming.
Oh, I
Really
love
be
drumming.
a spiritual experience, even if you're not participating in the drumming, but
Just
having
feeling it.
and having some music, even if it's just on Spotify or whatever, that has that drum beat. Sometimes if I am going to intentionally set aside a moment where I can really think about, reflect on how I've grown, how I want to grow, who I am now versus where I came from, and having that really deeply reflective moment, music can really enhance that experience. Many different elements can. So if you have, did you want to say
Just a little
something?
bit more on music.
Yeah.
There's the that also brings you back. Think about those songs that immediately bring you back to a memory.
Mm.
So going back to that cellular level. So music is so important for that.
And it's so interesting. Sometimes I talk about this when I talk about religion. I grew up deeply religious, and that that programming is so deeply embedded. Music is a way that you can really truly understand how deep that programming is,
Mm.
because how many of us, even after having left religion, can still verbatim sing, huge long songs.
Which is why people use it for Alzheimer's patients, right? Because
It doesn't go
brings
away.
it doesn't go away. It's at a level that you,
Yeah.
or songs like you haven't heard that song in 20 years, and all of a sudden you can sing, like you said, every word of it. I didn't even know I knew every word of that song. So yeah, that's important.
Yes, yeah. So the musical element is very, very important. I'm a fire gal. I really
I do like fires.
candles and incense, and actually, I've dug out
Campfires.
the fire.
Smelling the smoke of campfires, like on my shirt.
Yep, it's amazing. It's a beautiful ritual. So, that's a way that you can also incorporate, to me, fires are very reflective. I love to just sit around the campfire, maybe even write something out to burn, and let go of. There's
Water.
Yeah, water can
Some
be
people like to just, I'm a
bathing.
water gal. Yeah.
Take a bath.
Take a nice long bath with candles and roses or flowers or something like that. But
Epsom salt.
Epsom salts are very nice. I recall just even by sitting by a river and being reflective that way, for those of you who are, water spirits.
Yes. I have to have a campground by water.
Me too. I love water.
Yeah, water and fire together. Really great. Yeah, so these are some ways that you can celebrate yourself. I also like, I'm a very analytical person. So as much as I love these, more emotional in the moment kind of activities, I also very much love writing. I love, making a list of all of the ways that I've changed, reflecting on the goals that I set last year, really looking at the things that I faced and I conquered.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Intentionally too.
Yeah. And taking some time to say, okay, this is where I'm at now. This is who I am as a result of all the things I maybe thought that I would go through, or things I didn't think I would go through. But here is who I am as a result of all my experiences. What do I want to do with this person moving forward? What are my goals? What are my new clarities? Clarity is a really important thing. So my experiences, I believe, are always pointing me towards better clarity. This experience helped me better understand X, Y, Z. This experience helped me see this particular thing about myself. Clarity is so important. I know now that I have this standard, or this boundary is very important to me. Those are things that I get clear about based on experiences, based on pain sometimes. And so doing the written work to me is one of the most profound exercises that I could do.
Rewind this and use those as journal prompts. I now know this. I experienced this, because those were really great prompts. I was going, oh, I should sit down and write those. And list. I think what you said, a lot of times, many of us writers, like in New Year's, or maybe towards the end of the year, we go, oh, we start to make list of, these are the things I accomplished. And it's kind of cool to sit down, because we think we've done nothing all year. Because just before we started this, I thought, I haven't really done anything. And then I started in my head having to really pick out and pull it and just go, oh, okay, I've done more than I thought I did, especially if you're feeling real comfortable in your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We often miss it just because we haven't really been conditioned to think about those things, or really place a lot of importance on them. it's maybe become a cool thing to say, okay, I checked that box. But to actually spend some time, again, put it on the calendar, set aside some time, even invite some people, have some friends come over
Have a
and
fancy
celebrate
dinner
with you.
Yeah.
This is what I accomplished for this year, and I'm super excited, and I want you to share in that excitement with me. And I'll share again. I think we talked a little bit last week about my own experience when I had my name change ceremony, because I legally changed my name to Aurora. My last name is Aurora now. And that was incredibly meaningful for me. It means goddess of the dawn. And it really resonates with my work. It resonates with the idea of newness, bringing in something new, bringing in a new idea. And it also really, in exchange for that newness, it was letting go of the old names, which were all attached to men, right? They were I have a kind of checkered history. I had my bio dad left when I was 6. I was adopted by a new dad, and then he left and they got divorced. And so it's just this like messy kind of experience. So I've had 3 last names prior. I had my birth name, my adopted name, my married name. And then I was like, fuck all that. I'm choosing my own name. Who am I? And it really helped me clarify, who am I? Because how many of us as women especially ever ask that question? Because we just assume that I'm just going to take his name, right?
Or claimed a name for yourself.
Yeah, we don't, it's not part of our practice at all to
or
have
our culture. Yeah.
And what do we even say without, there's assumptions, but what do we even say when we get married and we have a son? Oh, I'm so glad my husband's name is going to get passed along.
Oh, right.
It's not even our identity. And we have become so programmed with that we don't even acknowledge what we're saying, which is that I don't have an identity. I'm taking his name. I'm not passing on a name. I'm passing on his name, so there's a lot of patriarchy that's still there. So for me, the idea of choosing my own name was also letting go of a lot of the patriarchy that I was participating in. Whether or not that was something that was intentionally done, I was still participating in these old hierarchical beliefs that I really didn't want to participate in anymore. And so that was a key moment for me. And I treated it just like I would treat a wedding ceremony. This was a reclamation of me. This was a celebration of reclaiming my name, my identity, and my choice. And so I made it what I wanted to make it. Marie had an anointing for me, and I had a big spread of food.
It was amazing.
That it was just like beautiful fruits. I'm not even a fruit person, but I just wanted, the idea of that luxurious meal, so I had fresh fruits and vegetables and little dips and things. It felt like really luxurious and royal. And I wore a little crown and a dress that I felt, really goddessy in. And I wrote out all of the meanings of Aurora and what that meant to me. And I had a few people that I knew would be supportive. I didn't invite people who wouldn't understand. I didn't invite people who would question what I was doing. Because this was about me.
It's an honoring ceremony.
Yeah, and it was beautiful, and I will always hold that in my memory. Gave myself gifts. That's another thing that we should talk about too. When you celebrate yourself and who you currently are, upgrade your things, right? Upgrade your clothes, your home. You're constantly changing and evolving, and everything around you gets to change and evolve. And the beautiful thing too is, as you change and you shed the old, somebody else needs the old stuff. The old you it now fits someone else. And so it's this constant like evolution of letting go and giving to someone else and upgrading to something that fits your new goddess, right? And sometimes what we do is we make that forbidden, and it's so forbidden to to buy things for ourselves, or to really acknowledge our desires. And so I think that if we acknowledge those desires instead of making them forbidden, allow ourselves to do what actually feels good and right. And sometimes that's buying something new. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just getting rid of a bunch of stuff. But really, it's honing into what feels intuitively inspired instead of what somebody else is telling you that you should do. But how does it feel best to celebrate yourself? Sometimes just letting go of things to me feels so clean and amazing. I recently went through my garage and got through, multiple boxes and let go of things, and it felt really, really great. So, buying gifts, I think, is an amazing part of celebrating. Social.
Yeah.
Bringing people in. Again, being choosy. This is not something that you're obligated to invite people to do. It's something that you get to choose.
They don't get to have a voice in it because it's just an honoring of ourselves. I was going to say, I'm glad you used letting go. I think letting go has been the theme of mine, because not that my identity has changed so much, but that I'm expressing more of my identity in different ways. So there's things that I had to let go. Like, I was a kindergarten teacher, so there were some kindergarten teacher things that I started getting. And like you said, there's plenty of kindergarten teachers out there who would love those resources. And so just knowing and trusting that when I pass those on, it will go there. So I really love that. And then for me, as far as the identity, I felt like changing or adding to my name. So my name is Marie Wallace, which is very common. I want to go to Anya Marie, because Anya is actually a new aspect of myself that I want to embrace. Actually, I think it's something I've always wanted to be, because it means sunshine, goddess of sunshine and love and compassion. Well, I grew up in the 70s, right? And in the 70s, it was all about, embracing that. And so I always wanted my name to be sunshine. And here I get an opportunity to express that. So it's an addition for me, and a further, maybe a deeper expression of who I am, because Marie's always been a middle name for me. I mean, not for me, but in lots of respects, as I, witness other people, it's just a great middle name. And I just feel like something needs to go before that. And so that honoring, and people like Jillian have given me the courage to go, hell yes, I can embrace something that will really, and your name does help you expand. It helps you go, oh, that means that, and then you fill in the blank what that means for you. And so it also helps me be more expansive. So thank you for that. And just really maybe going deeper into who I am and celebrating that. And people might call me crazy. People will say all kinds of things, right? And it's none of their business. And it doesn't mean, and I could legally change it. That would be awesome. Or I could just say, I now want to be called this. And I don't know. I'm just excited about the possibilities. And so maybe that's something. And it's naming this new section of my life. So thank you for that.
So maybe we'll be doing an anointing ceremony.
I know where she anoints me. That would be awesome. But the other part I loved about your naming ceremony was the luxuriousness of it, and the making it okay for all of us to celebrate and honor someone in our community. And I would do that for everyone that was there, or anyone that would like that honoring ceremony. So don't feel that people wouldn't be willing to come celebrate you, because I think we need more celebrations in our life, period. Right. And so I'm really grateful for this season of celebration that we are carving out for ourselves, to take time to honor all that we've done. So thank you for that.
I love the name Anya too. Aww. That is a beautiful, beautiful name.
It feels really yummy.
It does. It does. You all should let us know in the comments if she should be Anya.
Does it go with the red hair?
I vote yes.
She votes yes. That's all. That's all cool. I vote yes.
That's amazing. I think it is something that the more we celebrate ourselves, the more we normalize that. And, I would love to see the day that we're, holding goddess ceremonies
I
where
know.
people
Wouldn't that be
are,
great?
really acknowledging, celebrating themselves. Doesn't have to necessarily be a name change, but, having that dedication to themselves.
Mhm.
We honor wedding vows with a huge party.
Mhm.
And, we see that as a justifiable reason to spend tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine if we thought the same way about vows to ourselves.
Mhm.
If we thought the same way about dedicating our decisions and our loyalty to ourselves, that would be pretty incredible. Not that I'm downplaying a union between two people at all, but you can't have a great union between two people if you don't have two people who also clearly understand their values and their loyalty and their dedication to their own values and to themselves. So I can't wait for that day. That's the new dawn, right?
I'm yeah, the new dawn of Aurora. I'm excited for that. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All
And
right.
don't you think the world would feel better if people felt good about themselves, right? That would be reciprocated and it would ripple out. So the more that you claim that for yourself, the better our world's going to be.
Mhm.
And you are modeling that acceptance, which also encourages people to keep doing it. Well, Jillian did it. I did it. Bob did it. Mary did it. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff.
1000%, yes.
1,000%.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I really would love, as you're listening to this, we're coming to the close. I want you to really think about the question, who is, if you were to name that inner goddess that you have become over this last year, what's her name? And pick an actual name, right? Think about that name, pick that name, and have a small ceremony, even if it's just yourself. Maybe it's just a little incense and a candle. It doesn't have to be anything crazy big, but do something to honor yourself and to honor that growth and that inner goddess that you've invited in, that wise woman that didn't exist a year ago, maybe not to the extent that she is now. Who is she? What's her name? What are her superpowers? What are the things that you have now mastered as a result of the pain, the loss, the joy, all the things that you excel or that you experienced this last year? What are your superpowers now? Write them down, name them. And if you feel like you want to, email us or put them in the comments. We'd love to hear, what are your superpowers? Who is your goddess? That would be super meaningful. If you want to email them to me privately, you can do that at defytheaverage@gmail.com or Marie.
Marie@mariesgold.com. Yes. We love that stuff.
Yeah, that would be beautiful.
Or even share your rituals, because I love learning new rituals so that I can pass those along.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's something that resonates for each of us, and it's always a little bit different. And I think that incorporating lots of different things is really powerful. So, I'm not always very good at this. I'm trying to remember more, but if you could please like and comment and share if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel if you liked hearing this conversation. Ring the bell so that you get notifications when we go live again. We go live every Thursday morning, Mountain Time. So that may be different for you, but 10 a.m.-ish Mountain Time on Thursday mornings. And we'd love to see you more here. And we'd love for you to bring your friends.
Yes, please.
And next week, we
want to meet them too.
I think we are going to be talking about grief coming up. So we're going with all these fall themes. Yep. Next Next week is savoring the year. And then next week after that is acknowledging loss. And then we really go into a season of letting go, which really is what we're seeing with all of the, the trees and the life around us, right? Is this letting go and death process. And that's important to acknowledge within ourselves as well, because everything that we're seeing outside of us is also a reflection of what is happening inside. So we look forward to having those conversations with you as we go. And I hope you all have a phenomenal week. Enjoy the last of the weather before it freezes for most of us. And just soak in all of those fall vibes. We love you. Bye-bye.